How's it going, everybody? You got the Razman coming at you here with another video, and it's day 6, category 6. At least I believe it's day 6. I apologize if I'm off a day or two, but I know that it should be day 6, category 6 of Skinslip's Scavenger hunt, which today continues with a slasher film without a franchise or a sequel. And I've chosen Spiral today on the Razman's Reality. Really quickly, yes indeed, it is new lighting yet again, and this time I think it is finally the lighting that will stick. We are back on a 3 lighting system, because I realized, as good as I thought that lighting was yesterday, it only lit one side of my room. So we actually have not one but 2 now 150 watt light bulbs, and the third lamp back in the corner, back on. We're going 100% natural lighting because the camera's built-in backlight feature actually overcompensated, so it did more than I had wanted it to do. So I apologize for that, and hopefully now I know what to do to make this high quality 1080p camera finally look as good as it's going to look forever. And yes, I did try just a 2 lighting system so we could get rid of that slightly blown out image in the corner there, but I didn't get a full 30 frames per second. Yes, this camera is that high quality and that temperamental that if you don't have proper lighting, it's like full frame rate ain't gonna happen. So hope you enjoy it, and we should never have to mess with it again. Just wanted to quickly address what should be the obvious elephant in the room here. So, Spiral. Does this film qualify as a slasher film? I have no idea, because as you all know, horror is not my thing in the least little bit. So honestly, all I did was choose a film that I knew for a fact didn't have a sequel or a franchise, that was a horror film that is stuck in my head out of the few that I've watched over the years. It's as simple as that. And I'm going to be perfectly honest, because I think it makes for a funny story to start off the review. The only reason that I chose to watch this film in the first place a few years ago was because it stars one of my longtime crushes, Amber Tamblyn, who ironically plays a character in the film called Amber as well. So at least there's no way to forget her character name, which I sometimes tend to do if I've only seen a film once. But this film is all about the character of Amber, played by Amber, who meets up with a co-worker, friend of hers, and strikes up a friendship and an eventual romance with him named Mason. And Mason clearly has some mental challenges. He's clearly not all there, so she's attracted to him and she wants to spend time with him for that reason, because she thinks that he's incredibly misunderstood, and he just hasn't ever met a girl that wants to really give him the time of day. And she likes that about him. She likes the lone wolf factor about him, because she kind of feels that way about herself and feels that it's something that she can relate to. So as time goes on, they get closer and closer and closer, and one of the things that allows them to become so close is that she realizes that he's an artist, he's a painter, he draws some really striking images, and she figures this out from a notebook that he has where he shows this girl and she keeps asking him who the girl is. He says nobody, and she's like, well, you actually have a very good imagination. So she says, paint me in the same image of the girl in your picture. He does that, and while he goes to get more supplies to finish off the painting, she, in his overshirt, because it's an over the shoulder backless shot that she was doing, so she's in his overshirt, and she's like, hey, while you're in there, I'm just gonna go have a look around. So it's doing what a horror movie usually does, which is try to attract males by being something nice to look at, and that's all we'll say about it. But anyway, she's going and she's walking around, and she discovers that he doesn't just have one art notebook, but several, and all these girls have the same pose, and yep, you can guess what happens. That he actually didn't make up that girl. She's actually the latest girl that he's been hanging around, and yep, she dies a very gruesome death. In the end, you see her stabbed to death in his bathtub. So that is one of the things that made me hope that this does qualify as a slasher film, because when I looked up the category of, or the criteria, for the category of a slasher film, I came up with the one consistent answer of you actually have to see the acts of horror performed in the film itself. And I know for a fact that this film does indeed do that. So hopefully, if I got it wrong, I'll still get the entry into the contest, and my buddy Skinslip will appreciate the E for effort and give me the A for effort and give me the E for entry. That's the joke that I was trying to tell there, and I got a little bit tongue-tied. So what was it that made me want to review this film? Like I said, it was one of the few films that stood out to me, and the reason it stood out wasn't the twist of, oh my god, Mason is the killer, because that was pretty obvious, as I'm sure it is with a lot of horror films. A lot of horror films, from what I'm told, follow a similar basic premise in them. What made this film stand out to me was the relationship between the two characters, and the fact that you really are rooting for them, and Mason in particular really does come off as very sympathetic. You want him to be a good guy. You're rooting against what you see. It's pretty obvious within the first 20 minutes of the film that, yeah, she's going to get too close to him. He's not right in the head in a bad way, and she's not going to have a very good end. So you're rooting against that the entire time, and you're like, no, because you really want these characters to succeed. You want this relationship to succeed. So that, to me, is what made it stand out, because it actually held your interest all the way through. It wasn't just trying to be overly sexy, and it wasn't trying to just be overly violent. It was a good mix, and actually made for a very enjoyable film. And if I have to give it a star rating, I would give it 3 out of 5. Is it something I would own? Not if I have to pay more than $5 for it, because horror just obviously is not my thing. But I did enjoy it, and I do recommend it if you like psychological films and if you like horror films in general. So with that, as I always say throughout the course of this series, make sure you check out Skinslip's contest entry video if you'd like to enter the contest yourself, for all the rules and regulations there. And if you're new here and you like what you saw here today, I would love to see you again, and I hope you will subscribe for more all things nerdy, whether it be movies and TV reviews, whether it be comic world discussions, whether it be professional wrestling, whether it be sports. You never know what you're going to get on this channel. It's always a variety of all things geek. And if you'd like to, only if you have the means, of course. If you don't, I'm just happy that you're a subscriber and a supporter. But if you'd like to financially give to the Razman's reality YouTube program for more of an opportunity for great things to review, you can either do so by becoming a fan funder and or a Patreon. No donation is too big or too small. It all goes right back into the show and is greatly appreciated. And of course, everything that I have plugged in this video will be in the YouTube cards. You can find them on a computer by hovering the right-hand corner, top right-hand corner, and looking for in this video. I always point out that that's what you want to look for due to my lighting situation being unfortunately the way that it has to be in terms of where YouTube wants to drop those cards. I'm not sure where they are on mobiles. I know they're different on every device, but yeah, click on them and it'll be real easy to find everything that I promote in every video. And as always, this is reality according to the Razman and Razman style. It's not just a catchphrase, but a way of life.